The Honda Odyssey has long been the most popular minivan for individual buyers in America. Now a new fifth-generation Odyssey is launching, but it won't be an easy path for Honda to retain its popularity in a segment with stronger competition and buyers moving in ever-increasing masses to crossovers and SUVs. After driving it for a week, we think it makes a compelling case for why the Honda van is still relevant, though, with a barrage of new features and updates. Let's go through the laundry list. Magic slide seats. These appropriately named seats in the middle row are absolutely brilliant for families. They let you slide them in different positions to make the cabin even easier to use, whether you want to access the back seat, slide them without removing baby seats, or position them close together in buddy mode. Cabin Watch. A camera mounted on the ceiling lets parents keep an eye on their kids through the 8-inch digital display in front. It shows both the second and third rows of seating and even works at night thanks to an infrared mode. Cabin Talk. Are the kids getting too noisy in back? Need to make sure everyone hears you? A microphone up front lets the driver act like a subway conductor and talk to passengers through the speakers. Cabin Control. Odyssey owners can download an app that lets them control the rear seat entertainment system and climate control, plus send destinations to the navigation system through their smartphone. 10-speed automatic. A new transmission feels nicely sorted, never hunting for gears, and helps the Odyssey achieve a fuel economy rating of 28 mpg on the highway. Gas mileage remains one of the best reasons to choose a minivan over a full-size SUV, and this one makes it even better. Social playlist, perfect for road trips when your passengers want to be DJs. This feature lets up to 7 people upload songs to the van's audio system from their smartphones. Honda calls it a virtual jukebox that lets people share their favorite songs for others to enjoy, which I imagine could be heavenly or awful depending on your passenger's musical taste. Two of the Odyssey's most compelling aspects, though, can't be boiled down to bullet points. One is the way it drives. The Odyssey remains the best driving van for people who like to feel a connection to the road, something in stark contrast to the more floaty feeling of the Toyota Sienna and Chrysler Pacifica. Its firmer suspension and better feedback through the steering wheel and brake pedal make us feel safer and more in control in traffic. Part of the Odyssey's excellent road feel comes from a new trailing arm rear suspension design. It improves handling and allows for more cargo space in back and, silly or not, 19-inch wheels on some top trims. Maybe the next generation can add 22-inch stubs. Secondly, the Odyssey's top selling point has got to be its reputation for durability. Minivans typically take a beating from their Cheerios-munching passengers and constant, stop-and-go runs to soccer games and ballet practice. This one has earned a reputation of van that stands up to that kind of abuse, with a virtually unbreakable cabin and bulletproof drivetrain. That's a big reason the Odyssey's resale value is insanely high. If this new generation lives up to the standards of its forebears, it should provide years of relatively trouble-free use and high prices on used car lots for years to come. Pricing starts at $29,990 for the base LX model and ranges up to $46,770 for the elite level that's trimmed out better than some luxury cars.
More than 450,000 people have pre-ordered the Tesla Model 3, the company's first mass-market sedan. On Friday morning, dozens of DC area reservation holders, many of whom paid $1,000 last year to reserve the vehicle, came face-to-face with the car for the first time at Tesla's showroom in City Center, DC. Despite months of production issues that have stalled the vehicle's rollout, Tesla has begun delivering the Model 3 to showrooms across the country in recent days. Reservation holders received an email this week inviting them to see the car in person. This wasn't a Star Wars premiere or an iPhone launch. Nobody dressed up like Elon Musk or pitched a tent outside the showroom overnight to get an enviable place in line. But the enthusiasm and the curiosity, not to mention the sense that they had gained entry to a futuristic car club, was apparent. The crowd was a mixture of young and old, with veteran electric car owners waiting in line alongside curious newbies, each with their own reason for purchasing the Model 3. For some it was the desire to own cutting-edge technology. For others it was the promise of never having to shell out money at a gas station again. For Tesla customers like Arjun Sharma, an 18-year-old college student who has spent months poring over news about the car online, Friday's sneak peek proved that the car is worth the wait. Sharma, who said he expects his car to be ready near the end of 2018 or early 2019, said, "This technology is brand new, and my generation is all about technology, and there's no other car like Tesla. I feel like my entire generation wants one." He added, "I looked at so many pictures, but seeing it in person is just so different. It's a dream come true."
It's hard to believe that the Tahoe isn't the biggest truck in the world. Hell, it's not even the biggest truck that Chevy makes. When you're used to driving small cars and sedans, the Tahoe is at first frightening to you, and then frightening to the people around you who think you're a cop. That's especially true for the new RST trim, which stands for Rally Sport Truck. The Tahoe is only one of those three words. On the surface, the RST is ostensibly an appearance package, with new wheels, blacked-out badges, and some other bits and bobs. But it's more than that. It unlocks all sorts of options that make the Tahoe quicker than it has any right to be. You can get a Borla exhaust, big brakes, and magnetic ride, but the box you really want to tick is for the Performance Edition package. That gives the Tahoe the 6.2-liter EcoTec 3 V8 engine with 420 horsepower and 460 pounds-ft of torque, an engine that used to only be available in the GMC Yukon and Cadillac Escalade. It also gives you GM's new 10-speed automatic, the gearbox the company co-developed with Ford. That means the Tahoe, which weighs as much as a dying sun, can get to 60 mph in 5.7 seconds. That's quicker than a Lamborghini Miura. Granted, this is a bad comparison, but it's quicker than one of the all-time supercar greats, and the quickest Tahoe ever. Here's what you learned after driving the big bad Thunder truck. Thanks to the 6.2-liter engine and sport exhaust, the sound is more reminiscent of a Camaro than an SUV. Thankfully, at speed that noise dissipates unless you go flat out, letting you drive along in serenity. You'll be trucking along on the highway at what you think is a reasonable pace, but then you'll look down and see that the pace has gone way past reasonable and entered excessive. The Tahoe does such a good job of insulating you from the outside, which is what you want in a truck like this, that you don't realize the speeds you're doing. That said, the top speed is limited to 130 mph, so you won't be outrunning the police. If you're not used to driving a small apartment building around, then the Tahoe feels huge, like navigating a cruise ship in a pond. It can be intimidating at first. Something else that it took from the Camaro was the high beltline and low roofline, along with edges that aren't well defined if you're not used to the car. That means you aren't exactly sure where every part of the car is, so it takes time to figure it out. In our first hours driving the Tahoe, it felt so big, we thought it might be smart to require additional driver's testing before letting folks handle this thing. But if you don't need a commercial driver's license for an RV, then we guess you don't need one for a Tahoe. We think that might be a product of the RST and the blacked-out badges, because New Jersey State Police also use white Tahoes on the highways and byways of my fair state. It's a great way to have a lane all to yourself. We totally understand why people buy them. A Tahoe isn't for me. It's too big, doesn't handle well enough, and we just don't love driving a truck daily. But, hey, that's me. If you have a lot of stuff to carry, live somewhere that necessitates brief off-road excursions, have a lot of family, or just like big trucks, you can't do much better than the Tahoe. While this RST with all the doodads and goomsy guts costs $78,450, it's easily worth that amount. No, it doesn't have the prestige of a car with a Mercedes or BMW badge on it, but it easily has all the same features, is just as nice if not nicer inside, drives as well or better, and it's a beast of a thunder truck that makes you feel like you're driving a tall Camaro.